Renaissance Park boasts two world-class courses. Renny Original is a par 58 course that was created in 1999. At its time it was one of the most difficult courses in the world. Watch the Be the Disc movie and you will understand why. In 2003, course designer and PDGA Hall of Fame member Stan McDaniel outdid himself with an overlaid course, Renny Gold. Renny Gold has 8 holes on the front. Most are very technical, punishing and long-winded holes. A big ravine and a smaller ravine come into play on several holes. The back 10 holes are even longer than the ones on the front. Although they are not as narrow and wooded, do not let your guard down, since punitive OB and lots of velcro cedar trees will eat your lunch if you have any lapses in concentration. My commentary here is aimed at world-class players. Players who can throw over 400 feet with accuracy, and can hit 90% of their 30-foot putts. Hole 1 is a relatively easy par 4. At 523 feet, you want your first drive to go around 300 feet and land anywhere but behind the big rock. It is uphill, so it takes some effort. From there it is pretty easy to get onto the dance floor. Welcome to Renny Gold. 519-foot hole 2 is also an easy par 4, for gold level players at least. Toss a big highs air bomb out over the OB road for an easy approach to a treacherous green. Land close or you've got an knocker putt. Truth be told, this green represents more work than is involved in making an entire disc golf course elsewhere. So much for easy par 4s. Due to the shape of 386-foot hole 3, you've got to work for your par here. If finesse is not your game, avoiding a bogey 5 or worse can be hard. Hole 4 is plain nasty. Break this 551-foot par 5 hole into 2 extremely accurate drives to avoid a bogey. The ideal landing zone is 320 feet down the fairway through this opening in the holly bush. Avoid a fade to the left. A touch highs air shot is needed for your approach. There is a creek that is OB just beyond the wall. 7s happen as often as 3s on this hole. Get out of the chute cleanly on 392-foot hole 5, and you've got a good shot at a birdie 3. As much as anything, the unique tee pad will mess with your head as much as anything. As is typical at Renny, the treacherous basket location increases the putting challenge, and puts a premium on placement accuracy on your approach. The question on hole 6 is whether to go for a 2 or play safe. While this hole is only 257 feet long, the danger is the ravine that wraps around the green. Go long and you are almost certain to roll into the OB creek at the depths of said ravine. Hole 7 is a fun one. Fun, if you stay in the fairway. OB lines both sides of your drive, so be accurate. Landing zones are about 270 feet down the fairway and 300 feet. Here is a look at the right side approach shot, if you land short, and here is the left hand route, if you go long on your drive. Beware of the OB road on the left. From there dogleg hard right about 160 feet uphill to the green. Birdie 3s happen about as often as 5s and 6s do. It's all about accuracy on this spectacular hole. Finally, a straightforward hole. Number 8 is a 323-foot downhill highs air shot. Funny perspective here. This green is nothing but straightforward anywhere but at Renny. What a beautifully treacherous basket location. With what is coming up next, you really need to get a birdie on hole 9. At only 285 feet, hole 9 gets its challenge from the shape of the hole not favoring the natural flight path of a right-hand backhand throw. Hole 10 can be eagled by the big arms, who are also accurate. Par is 5 on hole 10. As you see, there is a very narrow tunnel to navigate to the landing zone. Most people's strategy is to get here in 2, but some try to get here in 1 monster shot. Then you have a forced up and over throw to the basket. This is as unique a hole as you will find anywhere. Enjoy the challenge. Take a seat on this memorable tee. Relax a little before you set out on an excursion of long bombs in the sun and wind. Grip it and rip it is the fun of the 1042-foot hole 11. OB lines both sides of the fairway, so stay accurate. It is often windy up here in the open spaces, so staying in bounds is at a premium. Hole 12 seems like a very easy par 4 at only 617 feet. But, the narrowing fairway with OB lining both sides will work you, if you are having control problems. Ooh. From the tee this 974 foot looks innocent. Just wait. Hole 13 is known as Cedar Hell for a reason. When the 2-meter rule is in effect, the Velcro cedars that line most of the fairway will run up your score. If you cannot effectively navigate this winding fairway, hitting your intended landing areas is key if you hope to get a 5. It takes absolutely spectacular throws to card a 4. Hole 14 is shared with the original layout hole 13. What used to seem like the ultimate challenge now seems like a walk in the park after the last 4 holes on Renny Gold. If your drive is accurate, you've got a chance to try to land your approach on a postage stamp green on this 564-foot hole. Fun fun fun. Deuces are possible for the biggest arms if you land in the ditch. 378-foot hole 15 would be a nice easy downhill turnover shot if it was not for the tiny opening in the wall of the forest in front of the basket. If you do not get a 2 at this respite from Renny's brutality, you will not be a happy camper. Hole 16 is just 302 feet long. The right-hand route is narrow, and forces you to turn before your disc wants to, so reaching the green is hard. The left-hand route is a better approach, if you can throw a good turnover shot. You are still left with a stout uphill putt, if you get close. But, at least you can get close this way. Hole 17 is a masterpiece par 4 hole. Even though the creek that lines the left side of the first part of this hole is played casual, you want to stay clear of it on your 285-foot drive to the landing zone. From there you are doing well to place your 240-foot up and over uphill approach shot under the basket. Hole 18 is as fun and challenging a finishing hole as there is. At 774 feet, it takes 2 extremely well executed throws to card a birdie 3. Note that quote-unquote Lake Mullet is out of bounds. The ideal drive is 450 to 500 feet, which leaves you a good approach to the green. Beware of the ravine that lines the right-hand side of the approach to the basket.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.